So I just got off of work. So my face is a little dirty, maybe. I washed it, but sometimes it stays a little dirty. But I wanted to talk about Mac versus, not Gretsch, PC. Mac versus PC. And I don't want to do it the way that a lot of people think. And I'm doing it for a specific reason. I want to get a little bit more information, maybe fill some knowledge gaps, gain some of your experiences. I don't care what your allegiance is. If you're pro this or pro that, and you hate this, anti that, what, I don't care. But I need to fill some knowledge gaps here, gain some information. But I really have to set some ground rules here. So because we're living in the TikTok attention span era, that might annoy people, sorry. I have to get the ground rules out before I actually get through the main portion of the video. I don't care, put this away, I don't care what your allegiance is. If you're pro-Apple, pro-PC, anti-PC, anti-Apple, Macs are overpriced. Yes, they are. I agree with you, but I don't care. I know that. If you can build your PC, I built this. This is what I get all the time. I built this. You want me to build a PC for you? I built a laptop. I built this. I built this. Hey, I built my laptop last year. So good. Oh my God. Hey, do you ever see my home computer there? I built it. I built the PC. I built it. I built it. I'm Bob the freaking builder. PC Elite. I don't care about that stuff. So here are my ground rules, because I want your experiences to help me. This is a YouTube channel. And because people, find it really funny to just comment hateful things about other races, sexes, or get people to try and, hurt themselves, we have to have that little approve only for our comments. And I find that button a little funny because when you read a comment, if it's just pure stupidity or someone just trying to goad you into arguing with them or whatever, this is how I legitimately how it comes across for me. Yeah, I don't care. I will just not approve the comment. It's really quick, really easy, especially if someone typed this much and their first thing is F this thing or F this or whatever. I'll just get rid of it because it gives me humor. It just makes things funny. So if you're going to just say PCs suck or Macs suck or whatever, if you're just going to be negative about the whole thing, I don't think that's productive and I'm not going to want to read it. So I'll just delete the comment. I'll just not approve it. I'm looking for experiences. I'm looking for, this is what I like. This is honestly what I like to do. I used to use Mac. Found it was pretty good. I actually switched over to PC. And I use this app, I use this app. This is what I have for specs. And, it's not like a contest where, I'm trying to show how big my dinger is or anything like that. But, it seems like a really good experience. I've been having some really good experiences with these programs here. Or, the other way around. I came from PC and I'm on Mac now. And I find it's a lot easier. I use this, and these specs here and whatever. So if you're not going crazy on the other people or trying to hurt people's feelings, then we're fine. That's what I'm looking for. But without going too crazy into detail on my history and everything like that, I'm at the point now where I'm running a 10-year-old iMac. If you've watched this channel, I went on a spending spree for guitars for 3 or 4 years, and guitars and amps. And I spent a lot of money. I spent too much money, to be very honest. But I neglected buying a new computer. And I really wanted to get a new one. It wasn't because the iMac is 10 years old. It's because it has a 1 terabyte hard drive, and I would like to have a 2 or 4 terabyte hard drive to run everything locally on the internal hard drive. Honestly, like ideally for a production computer, I would like to have a 4 terabyte hard drive. Um, I'm running into some issues now with Final Cut, but other than that, the computer runs perfectly. Like I'm not having problems with it other than one app, and that's Final Cut. And I have a lot of workarounds, and one big issue that I had with it, I just wiped the computer and reinstalled everything as if it was a brand new computer, and it almost solved it completely. It rears its ugly head every now and then where it peaks the audio, but it's fine. But now I would like to get something where it has a bigger internal hard drive, and my whole idea of the best experience of with a computer is something that I'm not paying attention to the computer. So I'm not looking at it going like, this has this, this has this and this and this and this. It's not. I want something that works, that's something that's reliable, and something where I just don't have to worry about doing things. I can focus on everything else except for the computer. It just runs. That's what I'm looking for. But I've been running Macs now for 15 years, and I have to be stubborn over this, right? Like I have knowledge gaps over PCs because I haven't run PCs in 15 years. My baseline price for from, of course, age of 20 and up, for like a laptop was $1,700. I thought if you spend that much money, we're talking, this is like 20 years ago, 20 to 15 years ago, if you look at spending a little more money, you're going to get a little more value for your money, and that could obviously give you a better experience, but it may actually prolong the amount of time that you can use that computer for. So, in my experiences with PCs, again, I am taking into consideration 15-year knowledge gap, that it was harder to run music software, like audio recording software, video recording software. You had to have a much higher spec setup, and even then there were some limitations for like audio tracks and stuff like that. The updates took a really long time to do. You had to do a defrag or whatever it was called to like clean up all the cache files and stuff like that. And that took like 6 to 8 hours. The updates took like 6 to 8 hours. There was a lot of focus on constantly upgrading the components to keep things fresh or whatever. I always stuck with just RAM and hard drives because that's all really. I don't game. I have a Nintendo Switch and a 7-year-old, so I play things that start with Mario or Sonic. And we have an old PS4 that I fired up like 2 months ago, and she discovered Call of Duty, and she can shoot aliens and thinks it's hilarious. That's what I got for gaming. Now, where I'm sitting, for needing a new production computer and a new laptop, or notebook, sorry. Apple doesn't like when you call it a laptop because they get hot and they'll burn your lap and then you probably try to sue them. I'm looking for, especially for a production computer, my mindset is immediately looking at a Mac, because I can get now, because I've delayed so long, I can get now, they have that new Mac Mini that has 4 USB-C ports and 2 USB ports and an HDMI port. I can get a 4 terabyte hard drive in that. I'm limited to 32 gigs of RAM, but I don't do anything really crazy for video editing, so it's not detrimental to me. But it'll allow me to run 2 or 3 monitors, and it'll allow me to do what I want to do. Now, that's going to cost me about $4,100. So, I know there's people banging on the computer, the keyboards and everything. I can build you everything in the world for $4,100. I don't know if the PC has come along I don't see it for what I use it for. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that, I mean, the technology has had to have gotten better. It's probably on par, or maybe it's, I don't know if it's surpassed it, but for like the creative space, are there multi-gestures anymore? Are there multi-gestures for trackpads? Like, can you swipe, can you create like 10 different desktops or 20 different desktops and go like this and it'll swipe on your screen for different desktops? And are there a ton of multi-gestures? And are there limitations? You still have to have more spec on your computer build than you would on a Mac to have the audio and video running. You know what I mean? Like to be able to do audio editing, video editing. What software do you use on a PC? And like, have you tried one versus the other? And like, you know, can you kind of A/B things for me and say like, oh, well, you know, it was good on this, but on here I find it a little better, and that sort of thing. Because I don't want to go out and just buy a $4,100 Mac Mini and replacing my laptop, which that's 6 years old, and having battery issues. I think I'll end up, if I stay with Mac, probably go with a MacBook Air. And like, cause I don't need it. I need it to do maybe a little bit of video editing, so I can just like leave this studio space and work in a different area to, you know, get a different perspective. But I do also want to get into streaming, just because if you look here, I have an EVH 5153 head. For me to make a review video, I would rather smack myself in the head with the EVH 5153, because I'm constantly thinking, I don't like talking, because no one's there to say, oh, but what about this? And I end up just playing what I want to hear and putting that video out on the internet to a whole bunch of people who have different tastes. But in a live stream, and the setup that I want for a live stream, I know I can do on a Mac, but I know there's limitations on a Mac, and it's easier to stream on a PC. But I think it would be easier for me, instead of spending 6 hours making a video, I could spend 2 hours streaming online with maybe some people who might show up in the chat room, watch me play for a little bit and say, hey, I know you have this guitar, can you try it out with that guitar? Hey, I'm looking to get that amp, but you don't play the exact sound that I want. Can you dial back on the gain or give me more gain? Or how does it sound with this? Or how does it sound with this? At that point, I'm engaged. I'm interested in what the other people want to hear, so I'm not bored. So I'll actually want to do that. So it's keeping me entertained, and it's a benefit to someone who's watching, because they might get more out of it than watching just a general video with preset settings. So again, I know that you can do, because I have a Universal Audio Apollo setup, I know how you can do that on streaming. And I know, because there's other people out there that have a Mac setup, and they're running less than what I want to get, and they're able to do it. And there's not many problems. I'm sure here and there are problems, but what options might there be for a PC rather than a Mac? And what are your experiences for streaming, not video games, but streaming on a PC, streaming on a Mac, video editing on a PC, video editing on a Mac, audio editing on a PC, audio editing on a Mac, because everything else that I do, I work, spend time with my family, and like I'll watch, like I really like Star Wars, so I'll like watch some Star Wars TV shows, or sometimes I'll watch some YouTube videos about the like Star Wars movies and stuff like that. and I'll look for things on Amazon to buy. Other than that, then I'm spending my time down here recording music and making videos. So that's what I'm looking to do. So is it maybe for a workflow standpoint, because of all the multi gestures that I'm in the infrastructure, you know what I mean? Like, I'm part of the Apple, they've got me like this because I've bought so many things, like programs and all this stuff from them. But I know you can still run iTunes and stuff like that on on PCs and everything. But for workflow, maybe should I stay with Mac? For workflow, should I go the PC route? Just trying to get opinions on what you've maybe used, what your experiences are, going back and forth maybe. And again, I really don't care if you absolutely love Macs or you built your freaking PC. And to the guy or guys that are like, man, I could build you the best. I don't care. I really don't. I'm just trying to gain information from a different standpoint, fill some knowledge gaps that I've had for the last 15 years out of just neglect from looking into it. Out of pure ignorance from not saying, hey, can I use your computer because it's a PC, because I only run Macs at home? That kind of thing. So, be gentle, I guess you could say, because other people could be watching this and reading the comments and they could cry. Thanks for watching.